What do I look for? So typically we look more initially for hard achievements. These are all very logical if you consider the work we do and the way we do the work as consultants. There are sort of 5 hard skills, looking at your ability to problem solve, structure a problem, break it down into different pieces, find a solution. Quantitative skills, so your comfort with numbers and math, your leadership and ability to make an impact, how well you work in a team, as well as your general communication skills. But that's not all. The challenge is that you also need to show some kind of personality and passion. Therefore, we look for people who are interesting. And this is where sometimes people say, oh, I'm just going to put in some hobbies and just be very general about it. That's actually a very important point there about how you demonstrate that you are someone who cares deeply about the things that you hold dear and take them to a very high level. So traditionally, we rely on internships, exchanges, and community work to identify high performers. Why do they focus on these things and what are they really looking for? One thing is recruiters are trying to use these activities to identify skills. The second dimension I would class as character. And the things we're asked to look at include tenacity, the kind of ability to persevere, drive to a result, resilience. So how well do they deal with adversity? The last thing, validation, like signaling effect. So if the school has awarded you a scholarship or a leadership prize, or if Google had given you an internship in the past, these are all signaling, right, of credibility, of validation from other people. So recruiters use these as shortcuts to say, okay, I think this guy could be a worthy candidate for us to take a deeper look at. So how can you still show these things if you don't have the internships that you planned, right? So how can you make up ground in this COVID year? Well, seek out opportunities to display skill and personality. So one way, learn new skills. So online courses, professional qualifications, even if they cost a bit of money, it might be worth it, right? To show that you have certain skill sets. Second, looking for kind of pro bono projects, right? And whether it's school research or consulting projects, it could be reaching out to startups or non-government organizations. Try and volunteer yourself, right? So pro bono to still do consulting relevant type work. Other activities, there are lots of things that can still be done. So one of the specific things I like to talk about is that I used to play a lot of contract bridge. So I did put in my CV that I represented Oxford at bridge, and during the interview I did get asked what is bridge and why does it help you be a good consultant. So I talked about the sort of hypothesis testing, collecting empirical data, updating your hypothesis as you get more information, communication, teamwork, right? So lots of different things can be relevant. You just need to think of what is the best way to highlight what you do and make it relevant for consulting. Here are some specific examples, right? If you wanted to do tech consulting, then things like picking up coding, data science, running your own website, or even better, building your own app. Don't just say, I'm interested in something, show it, right? And show that you have a high level of skill or competency. Do something interesting and that you can talk about and you can write about. The key things is to show determination, right? That you don't just give up easily, and resourcefulness, right? You're able to find opportunities to build these skills, to show these qualities, even where other people are struggling. Going beyond the CV. So this is more about like networking and reaching out. The goal is here is to expand your personal network. So leverage your school alumni network to get in touch with people who have been consultants, who are consultants and can give you some tips. And honestly, if you make a good impression, it is very likely or very possible for them to tell their recruiting team, you should have a look at this guy. You never know where things will go. For sure, if you don't reach out, nothing will happen. If you reach out, something might happen. Don't just rely on a CV, because in a tough year, you want to have every advantage you possibly can. And now we are asking the question, well, what happens when you do get to the interview? I thought I would do this from the interviewer's seat. What are some of the ways that candidates sabotage themselves in consulting interviews. The most important thing is to make 100% sure that you know exactly what's in your CV and back it up with details, right? Don't say, oh, it's been several years ago, I've forgotten what I've done. Then it shouldn't be on your CV, right? That's a very common fail. Sometimes I've seen people with very good CVs, and when you ask them how this came about, what was your goal? How did you end up, going to Harvard or, interning at Google? At least again have a story for why those are the choices you've made. Effectiveness and impact is also about having a clear plan what you want to do with your life. Another point is building that rapport. Eye contact, quite important. So if you don't make eye contact, you look very shifty, you look very insecure. So make eye contact with your interviewer. It's an essential part of connection, of building a relationship. It is a sign of confidence. And the last thing is, don't be arrogant, right? That's not the kind of person that we want to work with. Don't just prepare for the case, prepare for the fit portion as well, right? So spend time thinking through each of the points in your CV and how you would tackle questions on them. All right, so expect to be drilled, number one. Number two, plan through your answers to questions like why consulting, why this firm, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. Be very conscious of your communication style. Be yourself within professional boundaries. Be a confident, cheerful version of yourself, but don't fake, right? So don't try to, I'm going to behave the way I imagine people in this firm want me to be, right? Because then you're going to have a difficult time actually working there for the next couple of years.